Hi everyone, as promised I'm back with more alternative cards. First I'd like to show you, this is for the June paper pumpkin kit called Pick of the Crop, and in my video yesterday, which was Tuesday, I showed you 4 alternatives but 5 cards because these two are the same. Apparently 2 people didn't like it, but many others did, so thank you for your kind comments and thumbs ups for those that did that. And to the ones that didn't, oh well, sorry. I did use the stamp set quite a lot. I have enough bits to make the cards as intended, and I do have 3 card bases still left, one of each. And I do have 7 of the envelopes. I did cut up 2. Well, actually I have 6 and half envelopes. I have this part of one of them that I didn't use, and I do have 2 of these carts. Some of the vellum bits, and 2 of these berries, and I have the bag, and then all these bits of strips and things, which I'm keeping till I'm totally done, just in case. But most of them will probably hit the trash. There are bits I cut off cards and envelopes that are, I use some of them, but those are probably ones I won't use. Alright, so let me show you what I've made. I tried today, for the first several cards anyway, to stick with what was in the kit, with the exception of cardstock and maybe ink colors. So the first one is this one. So I used, for the first 2 cards, I used this card. So this one I put on a garden green A2, but this is the vertical one, so it's cut at 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. So I cut this down to 5 1/4 by 4 and put it on here. I thought it brought out the green in the background. I used the cart as it was. I put the bread on like they had in the sample, but instead of having the long sentiment, I put the thinking of you up here instead. I just, with that, and I stamped it with garden green. And this is Blackberry Bliss that they had on there already. And then inside, I just stamped a few of these, the flowers like this, but in green, just to add a little something on the inside. So that's card 1. Card 2 is this, which is a little different. Now, when you punch out these sections of the wheels on the cart, you get all these little triangles. So I die cut a little over, it's like a 1 1/4 inch circle out of the Beautiful Shapes dies, but you could use a 1 to a 1 1/4 inch. I would suggest 1 1/4 inch because I think that's what this measures. I think it was this one here. There's 3 circles, and it was like the medium one. Pretty sure it's this one right here. Anyway, in the Hello Beautiful, but you could use the layering circles or a punch, a 1/4 inch punch. Anyway, I punched them, or die cut them out of crushed curry cardstock. And then I glued them down onto the pieces from the wheels down onto the cardstock. I used 8 slices, if you will. I was going for lemons, and then I colored them because they were white with dark Daffodil Delight marker. I just went over it with the brush tip. Now, the glue I used was tape runner. It was the seal. So it was kind of sticky in places where it shouldn't be. So I just tapped it with my embossing buddy, which is coming back, but it's coming back in a set of something else. So anyway, and that kind of made the slices look modeled a little bit, plus it made it not sticky. The Hello is stamped from the kit in crushed curry, and then I fussy cut. It's this stamp here, and then I fussy cut around the letters. I bumped that up on dimensionals, and I did use a little bit of the linen thread, but these are not in the kit. They're Calypso Coral from Artistry Blooms Adhesive Back Sequins, which are no longer available. They retired when the 21-22 catalog ended. So I'm using them up, and actually this is part of the envelope. So if you look at the envelopes, this is like this, right? So I use the part that's in here, cut it down to 5 1/4. Now that said, this is actually Flirty Flamingo. It doesn't say there's that color in the kit, but I think it goes better with this envelope liner than the Calypso Coral does. Let me show you the difference. Let me show you the difference. See? Can you see? I don't know. I mean, this looks like a faded Calypso Coral, but it also looks like Flirty Flamingo. I went with Flirty Flamingo. I just thought it looked prettier. So these are supposed to be lemons, but I guess it could be flowers too, right? And I had another idea I was going to use with the lemons, but I decided not to. And then this piece is a portion of the back of this card. It's like 1.5 inches. So I just cut, when I cut this off, then I cut that much off, and I used the rest of it on the next card. So there's my first two. And here's the next one. Oh, what did I do on the inside? Just another strip of the envelope, which actually I think was the part right here. Or maybe it was right here. I can't remember. So this is the rest of the back of this card here. And I did kind of what they did on the sample. Like this, kind of like they did here. I actually did the little bag. I wrapped twine around, but I wrapped it around the card there too. I didn't put the flowers in, and I added a berry instead with the cheese. And this Bountiful Blessings came from, there were 2 stamp sets I pulled out. Berry Blessings from Celebration last year, I think. Bountiful Blessings. I pulled that out, and I pulled out Street Strawberry, but I didn't end up using it. This was in the January to June 2021, and also the annual catalog 21 to 22, but it's since, I think, retired. And I'm pretty sure the Strawberry Punch retired too, but don't hold me to that. Anyway, I didn't use those. And then I just used the double oval punch, which is still valid, current. Anyway, I stamped Bountiful Blessings in Cajun Craze, put it on crushed curry, bumped this up, and the strawberry is bumped up. And inside I just have a piece of basic white with one of the small loaves of bread. So that's 3. So the only thing I didn't use that was, I used that was not in the set, other than cardstock and ink, was the Bountiful Blessings stamp. Yeah, and this background here I stamped all over with the flower stamp that's in the kit, which I really like. It's right here, right there, that long flower. Okay, so next up, we make room. That's the first 3. I used another part of the envelope that I had cut up to do this, and this would have been this part plus part of up here, to put the stripe on. And I made a little pocket. It's actually a pocket, so I glued it down only on the 3 sides, and then I did put glue on these and slid them down in the bread, the flowers, and the cheese. Put a berry here, and did put You're the Pick of the Crop and a little twine bow. And part of the side of the envelope here is I had to trim it a little bit and fussy cut a little bit with scissors, but that's all I did there. So that's number 4. And then number 5, I used the blue card. I cut it. Now see, it's actually not centered. This design is not centered on here. So I trimmed it down over here to make it be 4. and I think I trimmed it at the top to make it be 5 1/4. And I obviously cut it at the seam here, so I used the back on the next card. And I just put one of the vellums with the jaggy edges, but I stamped right on the vellum with Night of Navy with the hello stamp. I also stamped 2 blueberries and colored them with light Night of Navy, and I let that sit and dry because it needs time to dry on vellum. So that's what I did there. And then I put glued down one of the loaves of bread, put some cheese, another loaf of bread, and just a little twine here. I think it came out cute. Fairly simple, but nice card. And inside just have another strip of the paper that I had cut off from the side over here. Okay, so that's number 2, 3, 4, 5, I think. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's number 5. And then number 6 is a little different. Alrighty, let me explain this. Well, first of all, this is the blue background back of this card, and this is another piece of envelope. I think it was the last piece of that green envelope I had. Now I did bring in another stamp set or 2. Let me think what I did here. First I stamped these flowers from the set, and I stamped You Are the Sweetest in Night of Navy. Okay. And I did put down the vellum that goes under the speech bubble, but I had to have something to speak, right? So I went with a bunny because I felt that, let me show you what I did. These little bread loaves, which I have in here, looked like bunny ears. So I took 2 of these, turned them upside down, glued them together, and then I just took my Flirty Flamingo Light alcohol marker Stampin' Blend and just drew the inside of its ears. I cannot draw worth a darn, so that's the result. And then the little arms and feet, I took 2 more and I lopped them off, and those became its little arms and its little feet. So that's a little different. And I had to look at Easter Friends here to figure out how to do the nose, but I should have used the Stampin' Right marker, lesson learned. Now the clouds are from the Tulip Fields, and I just stamped them in Night of Navy. And the grass is from Easter Friends that I just stamped in Garden Green on the Soft Succulent. So I have a bunny. Oh, and the circles, I again used the Hello Beautiful, but you could use any, I use like the smallest and the next one up to make its body. So isn't that cute? It's a little weird looking bunny, but it's cute. So You're the Sweetest, and the strawberry is almost as big as the bunny, but oh well. So something different. I thought out of the box, and then here's just a piece of the blue from this one. I had to cut it down to 4 inches. So that's number 6, I think. And then number 7 is a little different. I used this card front. I did put it on Calypso Coral this time. I used the sun from Kite Delight and the cloud from Kite Delight. The sun, I colored in the outer part in I think it's Dark Daffodil Delight, and the clouds I just stamped in Calypso Coral. I stamped right on the card with Night of Navy Hello, and I stamped the Wishes for a Carefree Day out of Kite Delight as well. Then actually first my idea was, with those carts like this, I thought turned this way they look like Ferris wheels. So that was what I was going for, a Ferris wheel look. And then I thought, well, what am I going to do once I have the Ferris wheel? So I went Wishes for a Carefree Day. I was going to put a kite too, but they were kind of too big for the overall thing. So I think it came out kind of cute. Yeah, Ferris wheels, 2 Ferris wheels. I don't know, what do you think? And then inside just a piece of basic white. I didn't know what to do on the inside. And then let's see, the next card, I took the rest of the cart and the card back, cut down to 4 by 5 1/4. I turned it the horizontal. I ran this through the painted texture 3D embossing folder because I wanted it to look like stucco on the outside of a building or something. And then I wrapped the rest of the linen thread I had, actually, and then some that I had in my stash around just to put it on something else, I don't know. And then I just stamped, I bumped this whole image up on dimensionals, and I stamped Thinking of You in Cajun Craze. This is Cajun Craze. This is supposed to be Calypso Coral. It looks like a cross between that and Flirty Flamingo. And then, because I was out of linen thread, I used a piece of the white baker's twine that's in the multi-pack. And inside, again, just white from my stash. And then I got away from cards a little bit. I had this card front left. I really wasn't loving this by itself as a card front, so I decided to make 2 tags. So I cut these to 2 inches. So I first cut this to 4 by 5 1/4, and I was trying to figure out what to do with that. And what I decided to do with that is cut in half to make it 2 2-inch by 5 1/4. I did use a punch, which is probably retired. It is. It's the fancy tag topper, no longer available, I think. But I really like this one because it has a wider opening for ribbon. So I used it. Let me put that over here so I remember to put it away. And I just layered on top the fruits. I have to go over that with a glue eraser apparently. The bread. Oh, I cut one of those strawberry blueberry things in half again. Blueberries went on this one, strawberries on this one. So I just layered them, the bread, the berries, and then the cheese. And I used one of the speech bubbles and stamped For You in Blackberry Bliss. And then I just put on some, what's this called? White seam binding. Which is, oh, that's not it. White seam binding. Crinkled seam binding, I think. Crinkled seam binding ribbon, 1/4 inch. I strongly suggest you get some of this if you don't already have it. This is my second roll, and it was in the old annual on page 139, but I'm sure it did carry over because I have it in my current row. And then the backs of it is just the white from the card base. Oh, I went around the edges with a finger dauber and Blackberry Bliss before I put all the layers on. So I think they came out really cute. And those I like. And I thought, my thinking was bread, cheese, fruit goes with wine. So wouldn't this be a nice little tag, you know, if you're going to a wine and cheese kind of event, which I never go to events, so I don't go to those. But, you know, put this on the bag with the wine in it, and or wine and cheese or whatever, and for your host or hostesses or whatever. So I made tags out of that card front, and then I still had I think part of the back of this and envelope, part of the envelope. So this is my Be Creative bucket list travel journal, and what I decided to do is make a journaling card out of an envelope. This was the second envelope I cut, and here's part of the envelope too. And then I had another strip, just a piece of strip from this. Okay, let me step back. On the journaling card, it uses part of this back, so it uses this much of the back. So I had like a 1-inch strip roughly. Well, I was going to put it here with the soft succulent color out, and I put the glue on the wrong side, so it ended up being white. This is a pocket, but I had this little piece of envelope left, so I just stamped a couple little dots on it from that stamp, strawberry kind of stamp, and I glued it down on top of the white. I wanted the white there because the envelope is kind of thin, and if you're putting stuff in and out, it might be rough, but I thought that was a really pretty journaling card, and that is the outside of the envelope. So that was envelope number 2 being cut up. Some of it used here, some of it used here for the inside part. This probably was, actually it was this flap plus about this much, because where this is, that's why I wanted it sturdier too. The end of that had that crease in it, and then about an inch in is where I stopped, because I cut this to be about a 1/4 inch or an 1/8 inch around where that white line is on the trimmer to get this piece, and then I put it on a piece of the card back, and I made a journaling card, so you can write on the front and you can write on the back. And then I'll put some kind of travel image over here, maybe something having to do with flowers, like Longwood Gardens or something, which is a place near me, well, about 40 minutes away from me, that has varying flowers and things. So I showed this in the hashtag Be Creative on the 13th, which is an open collab, and I'll be continuing to add pages. It's my bucket list travel journal. I kind of want something behind here, like an image or decorative paper, but I'll figure that out later. So that's my last project for the alternatives. You don't always have to make cards. And I do have, like I said, these 3 left. I am probably going to make the cards as intended with those 3. On those tags, the For You came out of What's Cooking, which was in the old annual and retired, and there are dies to go with it, the cooking dies. I'm keeping this one because I only think I got to use it once, well now twice, but I only used the For You here. So that's where that came out of, in case I didn't tell you. So let me bring all the alternatives in that I made. We have the journal page and journaling card, journaling card in a pocket. We have the 2 tags, which I'll lay there. And we have the card, so that's 2 projects. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more alternative cards, and plus the 5 cards I made yesterday. 4 designs, 5 cards. So 8 and 5 is 13 cards. Plus I will make these 3 as intended, so that'll be, what did I say, 18, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, is that right? Yeah, one's buried. Alright, so here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus 5 is 13, 14, 15, 16 cards, 2 tags, and a journaling card with a pocket. I think I did okay. I am going to use some of these envelopes as envelopes for ones that go with it, like this one will go with it. I mean, some of them really kind of don't now that I put them on other color cardstocks, but I can always use envelopes for other times. I hope you enjoyed. I appreciate the thumbs up if you did. Let me know if you thought of doing tags or what you thought of my weird looking bunny. And I just thought it was creative. And which alternative card is your favorite? I thought this was creative also, taking the pieces out of the, it sort of looks like flowers there, doesn't it? You can, your choice, a slice of lemon crosswise or flowers, right? Yeah, I thought I did good. Anyway, thanks for watching. Talk to you again soon. Thursday night live this week, I'm pretty sure. I have to do it Thursday because the weekends, Friday and the weekend's going to be busy. All right, guys, take care. Hugs, love, and peace.